here talking about music, and music is what you do. Micah, can you please tell me what you do?
Oh goodness, I'm looking at cameras. I do all kinds of things. I have a day job, but I run a boutique label called Visionary Noise. We promote shows. We're out here for the community. I'm really glad to run into my friend Raul and talk to y'all about this. So, what do I do? I guess if I could boil it down into like a couple of sentences, I try to find people that are doing things such as Raul, these musicians, these different bands, the merchants that you see here, the artists, and bring it together where people can express their creative gift, their, what they've brought to the table. And at the same time, I look at this as like a revolution of hearts and minds, that we have to get people to understand that things are going on all around them. Creativity is all around them. And if you might be able to get candles at Target for your grandma and these different things. People have to buy gifts, but you can also buy them here for the community. You can buy them at farmers markets. You can buy them direct from people. And the same thing with the music. It's not that you're wrong for buying another Metallica or another Led Zeppelin record. I don't blame anybody from listening to the mainstream music and picking the best that they can hear there, because humans just like music, right? But think about it. If you take another Led Zeppelin music, you're saying this is what passes for culture. This other Led Zeppelin song, this other Led Zeppelin album, this Metallica album, this same mainstream music is what you're endorsing every time you buy that stuff. And nothing's wrong with what you like, I get it. But at the same time, what if you bought an album from a band that isn't super well known that you just loved, and you took it home, you put it on the record player, and it hit you the same way as these others? Because that happens. I think the reason I'm making this distinction is I believe your cultural power that you just took and applied to the Led Zeppelin or the Metallica record, or the Ganesha record, or the Banshee record, or the Ivan Kane, or the Who Did I Get Tonight, Akshamel, any of these people, the power that you just gave them is a lot more than the power in percentages of what it means to Jimmy Page or any of the members of Metallica, whether you bought their album or not. Don't quit buying them, but just look for more. And that's basically what I do. I try to get people to understand that empowerment, blessedness, love, it's all the same thing, and what it is it's a two-way street, right? You have to want something, and then these people are empowered by you showing value in terms of dollars or money in exchange for their goods, whether it's an album or candles or art or a movie, or maybe you advertise with Alternative Stream. I don't know, but all these things are putting your value, your time, in the minds around you, and you're a lot closer to that than you are some on high mainstream pop culture that you've been basically spoon-fed. again, I reiterate, that's what I do. I try to let people see that fact. I try to talk about that fact and get the music out to them. We do it on the radio, we do it on TV, we put shows all over Houston and beyond. I just came back from the Whiskey A Go-Go where we had a showcase with 3 of our bands, Banshee, Jim Crean, and Mind Maze. They came and in support. And so that was tremendous, and there's always ways of reaching more people, of doing this, and so my mind spins on that. How can we reach more people? How can we be more productive? And how can more people recognize this message? They talk about kids born with a cell phone in their hand. I'm like, what if they were born believing in themselves? Like if they wanted to be a videographer, what if they were taught that that's just as valid as, you know, going and mowing lawns to get the money for the camera, you know? What if they're taught that, you know, you want to play guitar, that's cool. Well, maybe you're working at a part-time job and going to school and all this stuff, but being taught that what you have in yourself is something you should listen to, love, and empower. Whether it's candles, art, reading, whatever it is, and I think that's the main message of both for the community, visionary noise, and if we're going to have any sort of, you know, what they call it, economic recovery or recovery for our people, that's what it's going to take, and that's what I'm happy to be able to be a part of.
1, 2, 3.
for like the last 9 years solid. Did it a little while before, but not as seriously, just booked and promoted shows. But the combination of booking shows and doing album releases for the label, that's only been going on for like 9 years, and it's just getting faster and faster. We started, it took us like two years to get an album out, and now in the last year we've had, I can't keep track, I think like 6 albums released from the label with people on them as studio musicians that I would never have dreamed would be on a Visionary Noise album. So my point on this is back to that original message. It was a crazy idea. I did all kinds of other professional jobs and soul-sucking jobs, and I just had this crazy idea when some kids brought me a CD with Sharpie and asked could I help them, that maybe from within me I could solve problems and sell records. Now that's crazy in this day and age, but that's what we drive after. And getting off the couch, getting flyers in hands, and starting to host shows, and taking 2 years to get a record to now getting 6 records out in a year, I consider that progress. And if I never believed in it that I could, and got discouraged every time there weren't enough people, or someone didn't like what I was doing, or rejected getting a flyer in the hand, then I never would have gotten this much closer, even though I'm not there yet, to the model I set before myself, you know, like that was tied to my values and what I had dreamed of. And I think that's the point for everyone, you know, move towards that model. So I've been doing that action towards that model for about 9 years now.